Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Our first order of business is to please turn off any cell phones and pagers. I'm Joy Rosen, and I serve on the board as your secretary. Tonight's service will be led by Rabbi Carla Friedman. Lynn Safian will be lighting the Shabbat candles. Barry Ross will carry the Torah, and Rob Ross will dress the Torah. Tonight's Aliyah will be given to Linda Munford, and the Gabbai is Delise Axon. Are there any new members here this evening? I don't believe there are any guests either, so we welcome you. Hope everybody has a good service. Rabbi Friedman?
Thank you. Thank you. So we begin, as we like to do, with an opportunity to put the week behind us. I'm going to ask you to put your feet on the floor and your back against the chair. And I'm going to ask you to spend the next few moments paying very close attention to your own breathing. I'm not going to say anything. I want you to feel the air moving. Concentrate on that. Close your eyes and pay attention to your own breathing. And as you're doing that, think about the fact that you do this all the time, but you never pay attention to it. And it happens whether you pay attention or not. That's a good thing. But as you're breathing out now, I want you to breathe out the week that's passed, and as you breathe in, I want you to bring in Shabbat, a day of rest and renewal and refreshment. Bring in the rest, renewal, and refreshment. Let go of the burdens. Breathe in refreshment. Breathe out the worries. Breathe in renewal. Breathe out the burdens. Breathe in refreshment, renewal, rest. And breathe out the burdens and open your eyes. You know, when the temple stood in Jerusalem, the evidence is, from a variety of sources, Talmud in particular, that the Levites, amongst many other things, were engaged in song, and they celebrated each day of the week for what it was, and they had a series of different instruments that they used. And certainly that included some string instruments. It certainly included some drums. So when you see guitars and things of that sort being used today, I want you to remember that that's in keeping with what the Levites did. And when you see and hear the drums, the same. That is what our tradition offered 2,000 years ago. So you're going to have the opportunity to welcome Shabbat with the text of Psalm 96, which is on page 131 if you are looking in the prayer book. It says, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, sing to Adonai a new song. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, sing to Adonai all the world. Shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo, bless Adonai, Adonai's name. Basru miyom liyom yeshuato. We will declare God's triumph day by day. So pay attention to the words. You might even be able to sing along. We're going to start our service then with Shiru l'Adonai.
Shiru l'Adonai, Shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol haaretz. Adonai Baruch Shemo, Masnu Miyom Leyom Yeshuato.
If somebody ever figures out where that was recorded, tell me. I'd love to know where that building is. We're going to continue with the reading which will be on the screen, and this will be the introduction to the lighting of the Shabbat candles. And Lynn Safian has the honor this evening. This is the reading. Oh, sorry, yes. Thank you.
Source of all goodness. Source of all goodness, as we join in Shabbat worship, we ask your blessings. Grant us health enough to perform our daily tasks, wealth enough to answer our needs, compassion enough to feel the needs of others. Give us strength enough to recognize our faults, wisdom enough to understand your laws, loyalty enough to discharge our duties. Give us courage enough to be true to the best within us, charity enough to see the best in others. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to feel your presence. Amen.
Amen. Yep.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. And we're going to continue momentarily with Kiddush, which is on page 123 in the prayer book, if you are following that way. And of course, the text will be on the screen. For the folks who are at home, this is an opportunity to lift a glass of wine to join us. And for those of us in the sanctuary, please rise for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat l'chaim. And we're going to continue with a reading which is on page 127 in the prayer book. It's on the screen, and we're going to read responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat we seek not to acquire but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat we remember that justice is our duty and that the world is our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. And we're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem. It's page 143 in the prayer book. And the words will not be on the screen, but the music will be from there. Shalom Aleichem.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We continue on page 144 with Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'meru. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'l'almei almaya. V'yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yithalal, shmei dekudusha, b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'meru. That concludes the introductory section of the service, and now we will begin the service proper with the call to worship. Please rise for the Baruch. Lai, 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 lai. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam va'ed. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Page 148, and the text is on the screen as well. Let's read together. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And we're going to continue on page 150 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chokim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemarta. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורתך
Please rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mizuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher tietchem me'eretz Mitzrayim. Liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And we continue with the reading that is on page 157. And we're going to read together. It's on the screen, of course, as well. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. The frog that usually visits me only on Shabbat mornings has arrived for this evening. Page 158 for Micha Mocha.
נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה אוסף אלה מיכה מוכה באים אדוני מיכה מוכה נדר ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זהלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד מי כמוך אלוהים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורת תהילו אוסף פלא אוסף פלא together. Mi ka'amocha panim Adonai, mi ka'amocha bedar b'kodesh Torah te'ilo osef peleh, osef peleh. Osef peleh. Osef peleh.
Did you recognize the female violinist? Did you recognize? That's Ilana Arian, who was singing Ahavat Olam just a few moments ago, yes. She is extremely talented, that is for certain, yes. So we're going to continue now on page 161. Let's read together. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And we're going to continue with Hashkivenu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, Shomrenu lechaim. Ufos aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
In an ancient legend, God speaks to the children of Israel saying, "My children, if you are willing to accept the Torah and observe its mitzvot, I grant you a most precious gift." And what is that precious gift to be? Asked the children of Israel. The world to come, is the reply. Tell us what the world to come is like, retort the children of Israel. And God responds, I have already given you the Sabbath. The Sabbath is a taste of the world to come. We continue with Yismechu. We're going to continue with the Amidah, which begins on page 164. All of the texts will be on the screen, and we will reconvene for Oseh Shalom on page 180. Please rise for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, Umevi geula livnei v'neihem, Leman shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Moshiach, Morid hatal. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, melech meimit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We are going to continue now with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of the Torah. You will find the text beginning on page 362. Everything will be on the screen. But as we go forward now, we do all the singing. So get your singing equipment going there. Not entirely sure what that is, but page 362. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kemasecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed Adonai oz le'amo yiten Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Av harachamim Heitiva v'rtzonecha et Zion Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Ki v'cha levad batachnu melech eram v'nisa adon olamim. Havu godel Eloheinu tenu chavod laTorah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udevar Adonai mi Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah. Le'amo Yisrael Bikedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlul Adonai iti Uneromema Shemo Yachdav. Barry is going to carry the Torah out, and as it goes past you, rather than touching it, do this. Put your hand over your heart. We're trying to contain the spread of contagious diseases. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chov hashamayim u'va'aretz, ki chov hashamayim va'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'yaneh naseh lechol lerosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu HaKodsho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtachavu Lecha Kodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. No, got a little higher up than that. Brand new Velcro. Do we have some elves who would be willing to bring out some chumashim? If you would like a chumash to follow the Torah reading, put your hand up, please, because otherwise you won't get it. Well, folks, don't take too many back there, elves. We don't have a lot of hands up, so anybody else want a... Okay, over here. Okay, then. The reading for tonight is from Parshat Beha'alotecha. It is from the book of Numbers. We'll be reading chapter 12, and you will find that it begins on page 965 in the Chumash. And there's lots of interesting things in this particular reading. 965. That's discounted from 985. Yes, so there's lots of fun things in this Torah reading. First of all, this is about Moses and this is about Miriam and Aaron nattering about Moses, and the reason that they natter about Moses is that he has a Cushite wife. Nobody in the text bothers to tell us what's wrong with a Cushite wife. Why are they complaining? And if you're thinking that it's because she's not an Israelite and therefore the status of his children will be at issue, the whole idea that status was transmitted matrilineally comes to us much later, and that does not seem to be the concern here. We don't know why they are going on about Moses and his Cushite wife. The only thing that is offered by way of an explanation is that Cush seems to be perhaps somewhere just south of Egypt, and the folks who come from that part of the world have very dark skin. And if that's what they're complaining about, we're not very happy with them, right? But God reprimands them because they are nattering about Moses, and Moses is the number one guy with God, and God makes a very clear point of that, which you will hear in the reading. Moses is not like all the other prophets, God tells them, and you guys chopped liver. Well, it doesn't actually say chopped liver, that's an interpretation. But God makes it very clear that Moses is special. Now, it's interesting what happens as a consequence of Aaron and Miriam nattering about this. Miriam suffers from an affliction which is described here or named as tzara'at, which is what the Hebrew Bible calls leprosy. But it probably wasn't leprosy. We've been around this a few times, right? And it probably was not what is called leprosy today. But some kind of scaly affliction on her skin. And here is the interesting thing. Miriam is afflicted with this. Aaron is the high priest. He is the intermediary between the Israelites and God. And he understands, having been reprimanded by God just a moment or two ago, he understands that he will not be able to achieve anything. He will not be able to help. And he has to do some humble pie eating, because he now has to ask Moses to pray on her behalf. And you will recognize the text of the prayer on her behalf, 5 words. You will recognize it. And then our rabbis teach us that there are times when we should engage in lengthy prayers, the whole Amidah, for example, and other times when we should be quick about it. And this is one of the times when we should be quick about it. You don't have to draw it out all the time. So this is one of the lessons that the rabbis deduce from this. And then, then what happens? So God says, well, yeah, that's how it's going to end, except for this, that Miriam deserves some punishment. And so Aaron's punishment is that he is humbled. He is forced to acknowledge that Moses is superior to him. And Miriam's punishment is the same as if her father had rejected her for some behavior, which God is doing, in fact. And so Miriam is shut out of the camp for a week, and then she's able to rejoin the camp, and the people move on. So that's the story that you're going to hear, and that's the abbreviated commentary on it. So it's on page 965. It begins on page 965. And Delise, the moment is coming. I have to find Linda's Leah bat Moshe v'Yosifa. Yeah. Ta'amod Leah bat Moshe v'Yosifa levarech al haTorah and company. Hello, Linda. I'm going to take your hand and show you where we're going to read. Oh, yeah, there it is. It rolled. Okay, so Linda, I'm going to take your hand, touch down. Okay. Go ahead. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Bakar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai
Baruch Shmo.
Noten HaTorah.
Amen. I think it's going to hold right there. ותדבר מרים ואהרון במשה על אודות האישה הכושית אשר לקח, כי אישה כושית לקח. ויאמרו, הרק אך במשה דיבר אדוני, הלא גם בנו דיבר, וישמע אדוני. והאיש משה ענב מאוד מכל האדם אשר על פני האדמה. ויאמר אדוני פתאום אל משה ואל אהרון ואל מרים, צאו שלושתכם אל אוהל מועד. ויצאו שלושתם, וירד אדוני בעמוד ענן, ויעמוד פתח האוהל, ויקרא אהרון ומרים, ויצאו שניהם. ויאמר שימו נא דברי, אם יהיה נביאכם אדוני במראה אליו אתוודה, בחלום אדבר בו. לא כן עבדי משה, בכל ביתי נאמן הוא. פה אל פה אדבר בו, ומראה ולא בחידות תמונת אדוני יביט, ומדוע לא יראתם לדבר בעבדי במשה. וייחר אף אדוני בם, וילך והענן שר מעל האוהל. והנה מרים מצורעת, כשלג, ויפן אהרון אל מרים, והנה מצורעת. ויאמר אהרון אל משה, בי אדוני אל נא תשת עלינו החטאת אשר נואלנו, ואשר חטאנו, אל נא תהי כמת אשר בצאתו מרחם אמו, ויאכל חצי בשרו. ויצעק משה אל אדוני לאמור, אל נא רפא נא לה. ויאמר אדוני אל משה, ואביה ירוק ירק בפניה, הלא תכלם 7 ימים, תסגר 7 ימים מחוץ למחנה, ואחר תאסף, ותסגור מרים מחוץ למחנה 7 ימים, והעם לא נסע עד האסף מרים, ואחר נסעו העם מחצרות, ויחנו במדבר Paran. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses on account of the Cushite woman that he took, because he took a Cushite woman. And they said, does God only speak to Moses? Doesn't Adonai also speak to us? And Adonai was listening. And the man Moses was extremely humble, more than any person on the face of the earth. That's what it says. And Adonai said suddenly to Moses and to Aaron and to Miriam, come on out, you 3, to the entrance of the tent of meeting. And they went out, the 3 of them, and Adonai came down in a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Adonai called Aaron and Miriam, and the 2 of them went out. And Adonai said, now listen to my words. If there is a prophet among you, of Adonai among you, I will make an appearance before him and be known to him in a dream, and I will speak to him. But it is not so with Moses, because from all of my household, he is the faithful one. Mouth to mouth I speak to him and appear to him, and not in riddles or representations, but he sees Adonai. And why are you not afraid to speak of my servant Moses? And the anger of Adonai flared against them, and God left, and the cloud came up from upon the tent, and looky here, Miriam was covered with a scaly affliction like snow. And Aaron turned to Miriam, and looky here, she was leprous. And Aaron said to Moses, by my own self, my Lord, do not put upon us the sin which we have dared to sin, and the offense which we have committed. Do not let her be like one who is dead, like one who comes out of his mother's womb, and his flesh is half eaten. And Moses cried out to Adonai, saying, please God, heal her, please. And Adonai said to Moses, if her father had spat in her face, would she not have to complete 7 days shut out from the community, 7 days outside of the camp? And so she will. And after that, she will be returned. And so Miriam was closed outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not travel until Miriam was returned to the community. And after that, the people traveled from Chatzerot, and they camped in the wilderness of Paran. Now you get to do the second blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet V'kaye olam nata b'tokenu Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shmo.
Noten haTorah.
Amen. So, Linda, I'm going to give you a blessing.
I want an elbow first.
Here's an elbow. Would you like another one? I happen to have another one. Yes. I brought two with me today. You never know. So, Linda, are you up here for any particular reason? Or you just happen to wander up?
I got lost without my dog.
You got lost without your dog, and that's why you're here?
Yes.
John, don't take offense now.
He's not getting any treats tonight.
John,
That's right.
I see.
Wait, I got promised ice cream
Stick with me, John. I can look after you.
Okay.
Okay. So, Linda, for you a blessing. Misha berach avotenu ve'imotenu, Avram, Yitzchak, ve'Yakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, ve'Leah, hu yivarech et Leah, but Moshe ve'Yosifa. בעבור שאלת לכבוד המקום ולכבוד התורה. בשכר זה הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמרך ויצילך מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיה עם כל ישראל ונאמר May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless Linda, since she has come up to the Torah in honor of God and Torah. May she merit from the Holy One of blessing protection, rescue from any trouble or distress, and from any illness, minor or serious, and from stray golf carts. May God send blessing and success in her every endeavor, and together with all Israel we say, Amen. Okay, there you are. Now you have to let John escort you. Here's John. Wait, stay still. There he is. Okay.
You want elbow people?
No, only me. I'm getting out of the. I'm getting out of the way. Yishar kochech, indeed.
I thought a Cushite woman just was a little wide in the hip instead of
Out.
cushy.
Out. So we are going to offer prayers now for the sick. And originally I had picked some music for this part of the service. And then when I gave thought to what the Torah reading was about and the words that we just heard, I realized that really we do need to sing this ourselves. So, never mind the music, we're going to sing El na refana la, El na refana la, El na refana la, Refuah shelema. This Shabbat, we are offering prayers for the following congregants: Beverly Adler, Ricky Bauman, Robert Berg, Elaine Bialer, Barry Brown, Andrea Chasen, Marianne Fink, Nancy Goodstein, Bernie Katz, Marcia Katz, Verdna Kelly, Marlis Markovitz, Amy Mogil, Steve Morris, Paula Newberger, Fanny Reese, Laura Rudifers, Roland Rudifers. We're going to take your names off this list for next week. Jacqueline Schindler, Mark Schoenholtz, Brenda Shapiro, Roz Shapiro, Alan Sharkey, Simone Shaw, Francis Sheff, Joe Sheff, Norman Toff, Ruth Turchin, Eugene Udowin, Leslie Zwain, Amit Ben Shirley, Ariel Bat Rivka, Ariella Bat Shoshana, Chana Pesa Bat Golda, Chaya Esther Bat Chana, Chaya Sarah Bat Gittel, Dvorah Bat Ruth, Esther Badana Bat Shena Malka, Henya Rachel Bat Sarah, Heshleb Ben Devorah, Yosef Shmuel Ben Bertha, Manya Bat Fredel, Masha Bat Esther, Menachem Ben Frima, Mindela Bat Frima, Mordechai Ben Sarah, Moshe Hersh Ben Rivka, Pesach Lev Ben Sarah, Shirley Bat Sarah, Shulamit Bat Zilla, Cyril Reza Bat Esther, Velvel Ben Hindabela, and Yonatan Ben Chassia. And I'm going to ask you now to take the next few moments to think about the people for whom you will be praying personally and privately. we are not going to go through the whole song and dance because time is fleeting, and I want to take an opportunity to say a few words in a moment. So let's all take a moment to think about the people for whose health we are praying. Ilna rifanala, Ilna rifanala, Ilna rifana.